Hi everyone. Today for your reading assignment, we're going to be reading a story called Munching Millie, and I love this story. It's one of my favorites. So when you're reading today, the goal that I want you to be working on, your purpose for reading, is to be able to read a story and figure out what the problem is and what the solution is. So when you finish reading, I want you to be able to say, I can read a story and tell the problem and tell the solution. So the problem is something that isn't going well in the story, something that isn't quite right. And then the solution is how they solve that problem. How does the problem get fixed in the story? So that's your purpose for reading today. And I'll ask you some questions at the end of the story to make you think a little bit more about that. And first things first, when we get started, I'm going to tell you that this is a fiction story. So that means it is a made up story. It is not real. And let's take a look at our title once more. Our title is Munching Millie. And good readers will always check out their picture on the cover too and see if you can make any predictions about what this story might be about. Maybe this is Millie here on the cover. It looks like she's not a person, she's an animal. Maybe she's a goat. She's got a little beard here. And they call her Munching Millie. Now, munching is a word I'm going to want you to know while you're reading this story. Munching is what she's doing right here. Munching is another word for chewing. So she likes to munch. Okay? That's what munching means. And there's one more word that I think will be helpful for you to know. They use the word menace in this story. And menace is just another word for a troublemaker, somebody who makes trouble. All right, so keep those two words in mind while you're reading. And remember, your purpose for the end of reading today is to be able to tell the problem and then also tell me the solution. So go ahead and throw on a listening cap and we will read Munching Millie by Brenda Parks, illustrated by Christine Batuz. Munching Millie. And I will pull you in a little closer so you can see a little better. Right. Millie was a beautiful pet goat, but she had one bad habit. Millie loved munching. Millie munched Dad's jeans. She munched Mom's sweater. She munched Grandpa's newspaper. She munched Grandma's hat. She munched the neighbor's flowers. Dad yelled, Millie's a menace. That goat has to go. Uh-oh. No, cried the children. No, please, no. They love Millie. Millie's their pet. The children came up with a plan to keep Millie. They asked their neighbors if they had any munching jobs Millie could do for them. The children soon had a list of jobs. This says Millie's to-do list. So if you have some leaves you've raked up, Millie can munch them. If you have some leftover trash or mail you don't need anymore, Millie can munch it. And maybe if your grass is growing too high, Millie can munch it. So they thought of a plan. This might be our solution. Let's see. On Monday, Millie helped pick apples. Then she munched some for her lunch. On Tuesday, Millie munched some overgrown blackberry bushes. On Wednesday, Millie munched a lawn. On Thursday, Millie helped pick melons. Then she munched some for her lunch. On Friday, Millie munched on some old posters. On the way home, she had some other little munches as well. Found some garbage to munch on, some more flowers. On Saturday, Millie rested. It had been a very busy week. She's thinking about all the things that she'd been munching. In the morning, she napped under her favorite tree. In the afternoon, she played with the children. On Sunday morning, the family took Millie to the farmer's market. That's this place where people go to buy and sell food. She had a wonderful time. In the afternoon, the children made a list of munching jobs for the week. So they made another list of jobs for Millie to do. Millie's munching problem was solved. Well, almost. And this sign here says goat for hire. And she couldn't help but munch on it just a little bit. So that's the end of the story. So now I want to ask you, do you think you can figure out what was the problem in the story? What was the thing that wasn't quite going right in the story? And remember, a good reader can always go back and check the pages too. So usually we find out the problem at the beginning of a story so that by the end, there's some time for this problem to be solved. So at the beginning of our story, Millie's munching on Dad's jeans, munching on Mom's sweater, the newspaper, and Grandma's hat. Is Millie supposed to be munching on these things? No. This is a problem. And then remember, Dad got really mad because she started munching on the neighbor's flowers, which it looks like the neighbor was not very happy about. And Dad decided that the goat had to leave because the goat was causing so much trouble. He was being a menace. So this was our problem. Millie was munching some really important things she shouldn't have been munching on. So then, what was the solution? What did the characters do in this story to solve the problem? This page is very helpful, right? The solution that the children came up with was to make a list of things that were okay for Millie to munch on. Because even though she loved to munch so much, there were some things that were okay to munch. Okay to munch on leaves that people don't need anymore, or old letters that people don't need, or if your lawn is growing too tall, Millie can munch those things. So what they did to solve the problem was they thought of ways that it was helpful for Millie to still be munching. And this also made me think about our essential question that we've been working on about making choices and about wants and needs. Because when Millie was making the right choices about what she was munching on, it made everything better in the story. So that is our story of Munching Millie. And I want you to remember today and every day when you're reading a story, you can always tell the problem and then also tell the solution, how the problem is solved in the story. All right, good job, everyone.